Hello! So this is kind of what I do to make a worksheet interactive. So I just have whatever the document is pulled up. I use my snipping tool. It's my best friend. I've already snipped this piece. So I just kind of click and drag. I copy and paste it into a Google slide. I already kind of have a title I created, inserting a text box. I added some direction. And so here's the next part. You can do this however you prefer. I've done it both ways, and I've figured out the way that I like best. So one way you can have these pieces interactive is to use your snipping tool and snip, copy, paste into the slides. I've actually found it easier for me if I just insert a text box and add a border around it. And then I just type in the words from this document. So, like for example, I'll use pear, it's the first one. I then play around with sizing. I usually center it, make it a little bit bigger. Of course. And change the font up. I think that we usually drag it over, check how it looks. That looks pretty good. So then from here, since I've already created the text box, I just right click, copy, right click again, paste. And so I will do this, I will make a new one for every choice that's on the worksheet. So I saw chair. No. Have to click off. That's the text box before pasting a new one. I think I saw hair. So I'm going to type all these in real quick, and then I'll show you the next step that I do. So I completed all of the choices from the original worksheet into our Google slide. So here you can see they can easily click it and drag it over to wherever it needs to be. So here, the next part, you can choose to do this or not. I've done it both ways, is to where you can make it to where they can check their own work. If you want to do this, all you have to do is right-click the actual slide, click on duplicate slide, and now here you'll simply drag all of your choices over. I'm going to pause while I do this so you don't have to watch this, and then I will show you the next step. Okay, so now that I have all the answer choices where they need to be, now I'm going to create a screen type thing to cover up the answers so they can't just automatically cheat. It makes it a little bit harder for them. So I insert a shape, usually it's a circle or a rectangle. This one I'll use a rectangle. And I just kind of drag it over. And then I kind of resize because I don't want to see the title. So then I can change the color of it, the fill color right here. Change it to whatever color you would like. And then I usually insert a text box that says drag to check your answers. Usually change the font, make it a little bit cuter and fancier. So here's kind of the tricky part, because if you leave it like this, they go to drag, well then they have the answers, the drag to check answers there. So you're going to have to group these two things. So I usually take it over to where I can't really group anything else with it. take my text box, set it up again. And then if you click and kind of drag over these two things, you'll see how they're both highlighted in blue. If you right click, you can group them together. So when you group them, when you go to move one, it moves both. So when the kids go to click it, they can drag it and they don't have to worry about moving the text box. So, like I said, this part is completely optional. It is 150% up to you if you want to include this or not. So the last slide that I started adding on these interactive worksheets are how to share it with their teacher. So I used it in another one of mine. So instead of recreating the wheel, I'm just going to actually right click, copy, so I can copy that entire slide, and I can paste it over here. So I don't have to link it, so it's already here. So I added in share your work with your teacher text box, click and I just snip this little button right here and put it right there, because that's a separate thing. Enter your teacher's email address and click done. I also entered in that little snippet of the picture when you click to share, and I went ahead and added in all of our email addresses. So it's just a little bit more simple for the students to complete and then send it right to you. Like I said, it's completely optional. It's just a little bit sometimes easier and saves paper for parents if we can make them interactive like this. So I hope this helps, and if it does, or you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, so I totally forgot one little thing. So when you go to get the shareable link, you still do it the same way anyone with the link can view, but when you copy this and go to paste it into a new tab, at the end where it says this slash, like backslash, and starts with edit, if you delete just this last little bit and write the word copy and hit enter, it's going to force the parents to make a copy of this document, so therefore they can't mess with the original one that everyone can see. So that's also a big thing to remember when you are making worksheets interactive. So after you change that word to copy, that last little bit to copy, then you will copy this new URL and then place it for your link right here. So make sure that it does have that copy, and then when you apply it, you can always double check it by clicking it, and it should force you to make a copy. The parents will make a copy, and then that's when they'll be able to edit without everyone else seeing whatever they did. Okay, now I think I'm done.